You park your car, you pull the handbrake, and someone says, "Don't use it too much. It damages your brakes." Is that actually true? Can using the handbrake really harm your braking system? Or is this just another automotive myth that refuses to die? Today we're going deep into the mechanics, the engineering, and the real-world truth behind the handbrake. When people talk about brakes, they usually mean the main braking system, the foot brake. But the handbrake, also known as the parking brake or emergency brake, is a separate mechanism in most vehicles. Its primary purpose is simple: to hold the car stationary when parked. Unlike the hydraulic system used by your foot brake, the traditional handbrake typically operates through a mechanical cable system. When you pull the lever or press the electronic parking brake button in modern cars, it engages the rear brakes directly. This system is designed specifically to keep the vehicle from rolling, not to stop it at high speeds under normal driving conditions. So where did the idea come from that using the handbrake damages brakes? The myth likely began because people confuse misuse with normal use. If someone drives with the handbrake partially engaged, yes, that can absolutely cause damage. It creates friction, overheats brake components, wears out brake pads or shoes, and can even warp brake drums or rotors. But that's not the same as properly using it while parked. When used correctly, the handbrake is doing exactly what it was engineered to do. Let's understand how the system works. In most cars with rear disc brakes, the parking brake either uses a small internal drum brake built into the rear rotor or a mechanical screw mechanism integrated into the caliper. In cars with rear drum brakes, the parking brake directly activates the brake shoes inside the drum. Notice something important here. The parking brake components are designed to handle static load, meaning holding the car still, not dynamic high-speed braking. That means they are built for this job. Using them to hold a parked vehicle does not damage them. In fact, not using them can sometimes create problems. Yes, not using your handbrake can actually cause issues. In vehicles with mechanical cable systems, if the parking brake is never used, the cables can seize over time due to rust and corrosion. Especially in humid or rainy environments, internal components may become stiff or stuck. When that happens, the next time you try to use the handbrake, it might not engage properly. Or worse, it may stick and fail to release smoothly. Regular use keeps the mechanism moving and functioning correctly. Now let's address another common fear. If I use the handbrake daily, will it wear out faster? Technically, every mechanical system experiences wear, but the parking brake is engineered for repeated use over many years. Normal daily parking use does not significantly reduce its lifespan. Driving with it engaged, however, does. There's a big difference between controlled static engagement and unintended friction while moving. In manual transmission cars, using the handbrake while parked is strongly recommended. Many drivers rely only on leaving the car in gear. While leaving the car in gear adds an extra layer of security, it should not replace the parking brake entirely. The parking brake is the primary system meant to secure the vehicle when stationary. In automatic cars, many drivers depend only on the park gear. But here's something interesting. When you park on a slope and rely only on park, the vehicle's weight rests on a small metal component inside the transmission called the parking pal. Over time, this can create strain. Engaging the handbrake before releasing the foot brake reduces pressure on the transmission system. In this way, using the handbrake can actually protect your transmission rather than damage your brakes. What about modern electronic parking brakes? These systems use electric motors to engage the rear brakes. Some drivers worry that frequent use will damage the motor. But again, manufacturers design these systems for normal daily use. The electric actuators are tested for thousands of cycles. Regular use does not harm them. Abuse or malfunction does. There are, however, a few situations where caution is needed. In extremely cold climates, if water gets inside the brake assembly and freezes, the parking brake can stick. In such conditions, some drivers choose not to engage it overnight. But this is a climate-specific issue, not a general rule. Similarly, after washing your car or driving through deep water, engaging the parking brake while the brake components are still very wet could increase the risk of temporary sticking. But this is rare and manageable. Let's also clarify something important. The parking brake is not meant for high-speed emergency stopping in modern vehicles. In older cars, it was sometimes referred to as an emergency brake because it could be used if the main hydraulic system failed. In modern cars, especially those with electronic systems, pulling the parking brake at high speeds may activate electronic control systems that apply controlled braking, but repeatedly using it aggressively while moving can cause excessive wear or instability. So does using the handbrake damage brakes? The simple answer is no, not when used properly. It does not damage your braking system when used as intended. In fact, regular correct use helps maintain the system and reduces stress on other components like the transmission. The real danger comes from misuse, driving with it partially engaged, neglecting maintenance, or ignoring warning signs. Maintenance is key. If your parking brake feels loose, doesn't hold the car properly, or requires excessive force, it may need adjustment. Over time, cables stretch and components wear. Routine inspection during brake servicing is enough to keep it functioning correctly. This is not a reason to avoid using it. It's a reason to maintain it. Automotive myths often survive because they contain a small piece of truth wrapped in misunderstanding. Yes, brakes can be damaged, but not by proper parking. Just like an engine isn't damaged by normal driving, but by neglect or abuse, the handbrake is safe when used correctly. So next time someone tells you, don't use the handbrake, it damages brakes, you'll know the reality. The parking brake is there for a reason. Engineers designed it, manufacturers tested it, and your car expects you to use it. Cars are machines built on engineering logic, not roadside myths. The difference between damage and durability often comes down to understanding how things truly work. If you found this breakdown helpful, stay curious, stay informed, and question every automotive myth you hear. Because the truth under the hood is always more interesting than the rumor on the street.